I hope I'm audible to you, Tridesh. Tridesh, am I audible to you, dear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you very much for confirming that. So this is the game that we were, developing. In the last lecture, we started with this game, and I told you about this background, and we are done with defining the playground. Also, we are done with defining the player, then wall and level, and whatever things we require for the game. And for this game, we are using something called platformer controller 2D, right?
Yes, sir.
So we have already defined the code with which we are making duplicates of this background. So they are going to be three backgrounds of the same type. Okay. And that's the way you can duplicate anything using the duplicate function. Then we need to create the duplicate of the ground. So this is what we did, right? And here instead of size, minus size will come. Here also minus size will come because I want to put one background on the right side and the other one on the left side of this existing background. So that is the reason plus size and minus size. Then same thing will happen with this ground also, plus size and minus size. Then with wall also, we will do the same thing, plus size and minus size, right? And after that, with this level also, we will do the same thing. So I'm copying the code, I'm putting it over here, and here it should be plus size and here should be minus size, and with ceiling also it should be plus size and minus size. Now if I will just save the changes and run the code, let's see what we will get as the final output. And Tridesh, why you were not there in the last two lectures, dear? Why you were not able to attend the last two lectures? May I know the reason?
Sir, actually, in my phone was not my miss. I don't have the phone. That's why I couldn't join.
Okay.
Actually, after my bad health, when I don't were in the home, I were in my aunt's home. That's why.
Okay. Okay. Now you are okay. Now you're well, or are you still
Yes.
facing some health issues?
No, sir. I said see the messages to yesterday at night.
Okay. Fine. Chalo. No problem. Let me just check why the window is not coming. Okay. So the window is here, and this is what we are getting right now. I'm able to make this player jump, and we are able to see only, okay, earlier we were able to see only one background, right? Now there are three backgrounds. So some part of the first background is this, okay, and some part of the third background is coming over here. But what about the duplicates we have created for the ground, for wall, and for level? These duplicates are not visible to us right now. So can you tell me, Tridesh, what can we do for checking out all the things that we have defined over here? Means, we have defined two duplicates for each of the entities, but we are not able to see the entire thing. Now, if we have to see the whole thing, what can we do for that? Okay. Do you know the answer, or shall I help you with this? Tridesh, your voice is not audible, dear. Are you speaking anything?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so how can we see all the entities? No problem if you don't know the answer, that's not at all an issue. So what we can do, we can change the location of the camera, right? So let's change it along the x-axis by 30 degree. So that's the way you can change the view of the camera. Now let's see what is going to happen. Are you able to see these entities over here now, dear?
Yes, sir.
Right, so that's how you can control the game. That's how you can change the complete view of the game, and you can check out all the entities you have defined for the game in this 3D environment. Okay, Let's just now if I'll use this A and D keys, so see I'm able to go to the next level also, see, right?
Yes,
So this is the first level and this is the second one and this is the third level. So that's the magic of, Ursina. Let me close my window. Okay. The next thing that we need to define is, let's add a script to our camera. Just give me a short moment. I need to close my, yeah. So if you have a script and you want to add it with your camera, how can you do it? So for that, we can simply remove these two things from here. And here we can add, this function called add script. Okay, it's present by default in this thing, which we imported right on the top over here, platformer controller 2D. Okay, and here inside it, we can write smooth follow. Now, what does this smooth follow do? It helps the camera in, it helps the game in following the player. So wherever the player will go, camera will follow him. Are you getting my point here?
yes,
When you will see the output now, you will be able to understand it more better. So what is our target is the player. We want the camera to follow the player, right? Then the next thing is we can define an offset kind of thing. So offset is let's make it 0 1, and along z-axis let's make it -30, and finally we can define a speed also. So speed of the camera should be this. Let's save the changes and run the code and see what we will get as the final output. See, now if I'll move the player in the left side, are you able to see the camera also moving? I'm running the game again. I'm running the game again so that you can see the changes. See, the camera is also moving with the player.
yes, sir.
Earlier it was not happening, but the after I added the script, I'm able to make my camera move with the player. So now the player will never going to go off screen, right? We all will be able to, the user will be able to see the player always on the screen. That's the magic of smooth script. Let me just pass the code to you in the chat box so that you can also try it at your end. Here is a code here. Just give it a try and let me know if you are getting the same output or not. A and S keys you have to use for controlling the player. Okay, remember that.
Okay, sir.
It's working for you. So it's working for you, right, dear? That's
Yes,
great.
sir.
So let's move to the next step. Now, let's further modify our player. So here we can simply, define a scale for the player. So this time I'm going to scale it along the y-axis and I'm putting it 1 over here. And then, I would like to define a color also for my player. So color should be, how about green? I think green will look good. So let's make it green like this. Saving the changes, running the code. Let's see what we will get. Are you able to see this green player over here?
Yes, sir.
See how beautiful now the game is looking. Right, let me close the window. And now the next thing that we have to do is we need to, define a code with the help of which, uh, see, what I have done, I have created these duplicates separately for each of these entities. I don't want to do that. I would like to put all the duplicate things in the same, in the same part. So how can we make it happen? For that, we can, use for loop. So let me just define a for loop here for m in range. And I would like to define a range here. So let's make it 2, why 2? Because there are 2 duplicates for each of the entities. All right. And here we can simply write, I'm copying this duplicate thing from here and I'm putting it over here. Okay, and in place of this size, what will come now? we have to make the value of x dependent on m. How we'll do it? So we can simply make use of this formula m minus 1, right? So this is going to be m minus 1. And similarly, the for the second duplicate, it will be minus size into m minus 1. Okay, because here we are using size for first duplicate and minus size for the second duplicate. So same thing we will follow here also. Are you getting my point, dear? Is it clear to you?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Now the next thing that we have to do is we have to push all the duplicates into this for loop. And we have to push them in such a way that we can get the same output which we were getting. How can we make it happen now? So it's very simple. We just have to copy the duplicate, these duplicate codes. For example, if you talk about ground, so I just have to cut it from here and I need to paste it like this so that they can be there inside the for loop. Now I need to make the required changes here. So here also the formula will be this. So this for first duplicate and minus size for the second one. Okay, then we can again copy these two lines of code. We can put them here and we have to now define the code for the wall. So I'm removing these duplicates from here and it's time for us to replace this ground with wall. Same thing we'll do here also. We'll replace it with wall. And now there are two more things for which we have to define the duplicates. So the second last is your level, right? We need to remove this level from here. Here level will come here also. We need to put level. Then here we need to remove it and we need to put ceiling, right? Control C, and this time ceiling will come. Okay, so I'm done with defining the code. Let's now make some changes, because if I simply run this code, so what will I get? I'm getting an error. Why I'm getting an error? Let me just check it. So name ground is not defined. It says that it's not able to locate ground. Now, why is it so? Why is it saying that it's not able to locate ground? So let me just check it. Okay, because we have defined ground here on line number 22, and we are using it on line number 8 inside this for loop. So because it's an interpreter which runs behind this sublime text, this Python file. So for making it possible for the interpreter to interpret the ground and the other variables, we'll have to push all the code above the for loop. Now, if I will save the changes and run the code, I hope I will get the output. Name ceiling is not defined. Okay, it says that ceiling is not defined. So I'll have to push this ceiling also. If right on the top of this for loop. Okay, we can put it here, saving the changes, running the code. Let's see. Okay, so we are getting this kind of output here. The issue now is I'm not able to move my player here. Okay, if I'm trying to move my player using A and D keys, I'm not able to do so. Let me just pass the code to you in the chat box so that you can also try it at your end. Control A, Control C. Okay, I'm not able to put it in the chat box. I'll have to, share it with you on your WhatsApp wall. Just give me a short moment. I'm putting it on your WhatsApp wall. You can take it from there. Give it a try and let me know if it is working at your end or not. The issue with the code is, it's not allowing us to move the player. Our player has stuck at the initial point, and even if I'm pressing A and D keys twice or thrice, I'm not able to make the player move. Now, how can we get rid of the error? How can we resolve this issue? That's what we are going to talk about. Let me first pass the code to you in the chat box. Ridesh, I've shared the code with you, dear. Just give it a try and let me know if you're getting the output or not. Just check whether you're able to move the player or not.
Yes, sir.
You're not able to move the player,
This
right?
meeting is being recorded.
Yes, sir.
You're not able to move the player, right?
Yes, sir.
Now, why the player is not moving, dear? It's just because for all these entities, the position is same. See,
Yes,
the
sir.
position is same for all the entities. So we'll have to change the position of these entities. Then only we'll be able to make the player move. Now, what we can do for that, we can come on wall first, right? Ground can have the same value, right, as of the player, and we can just change the value of wall. So here we can add something. Let's add 5.5 to this, and here we can write 5.5. So here it is 5.5 minus size, and here it is 5.5 plus size. Similarly, here we can add something. Let's make it 2 plus, and here I'm doing 2. Here I'm doing 2.5, or you can make it 3, whatever you want to, right? And then here I'm making again 2.5. Now if I will save the changes and run the code, let me check if I can make the play, if I can move the player or not. Okay, right, I'm able to move the player now. See how beautiful it is looking. Okay, Tridesh, so
Yes,
it's
sir.
working fine now, dear. Let me just pass the code to you also, so that you can also check it at your end. I'm putting it on your WhatsApp wall. Here is the code. Just give it a try and let me know if you're getting the correct output or not. You are also able to move the page, right? You are also able to move it. That's great. Thank you very much for confirming that. Now let me just show you something here. In the folder in which I have all the assets of the game, here I have an asset with name Guy. Are you able to see it? This one.
Yes.
Now I want to replace that green rectangle with which I'm playing the game right now with this guy. How can I do it? Can you tell me that? If I have to replace that green rectangle with this,
In the place of that character,
okay,
you
so
have to you have to set the PNG. That is the
okay,
picture.
that's
Look of that.
perfectly fine here. Now, what is the parameter we have to use for if we have to put an image, if we have to bring an image in place of the green rectangle, that we are getting from this code over here? What is the parameter? What is the what we call it, value, or you can say property we can use for bringing that image in place of the green rectangle we are playing the game with right now?
The image equal to like this.
No, no, dear, there's nothing like image. We have something called texture,
Yes.
right? So we will make use of texture, and we can simply say that it is the image with name guy.png, because it's a png image. So that is the reason, guy.png. Now if I will save the changes and run the code, let's see what we will get. Are you able to see this player over here?
Yes, sir.
See how cool it is looking. So that's how you can modify the changes according to your requirement. Let me close the window. Now I have a question for you. The in the image the boy's color is white, or you can just check the original image. Let me just show it to you. So see, it's his face is white. Is he is wearing red shoes, but we are getting a completely green boy on the game's window. Why is it so?
Sir, because you have said the color green. Yes, you have
Absolutely
to
right. Absolutely right. Brilliant, dear. So if we'll just remove it, now let's check the output. So see, we are getting this color, right? So now it is almost okay. And if we'll change this to white, so what will happen? Let's check it out. So we are getting the original image now. Are you getting my point? So if you will not use color, you will not get the real colors. But if you will put white, right, for the color, so you will get the original image. I hope it is clear to you, Vita. Hridesh, you're not audible, Vita.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now it's time for us to define another, what we call it, asset, and the name of that asset is trap. So I would like to define a trap also for my player. Now for that, I'll be using the same concept which I have used for defining these entities, ground, wall, level. So I'll be using the same code. So what I'm doing, I'm copying the code I have defined for ceiling, and I'm going to put it here, and let's just change it to trap. Okay, model should be quad. This is perfectly fine. X is equals to, here we can change the value of X because I do not want the trap to overlap with ceiling or any other entity. So here we can just change it to, let's make it -6, right? And on Y, let's make it -2. So, whenever you practice, what you can do, you can try and play with these values. Just change the values and see what you're getting as the final output. Right, definitely it will give you a lot of experience. So here I've changed the scale also, and now the only thing which is left is the texture part. So the name of the image is trap.png. So I need to bring it on the window, and for that I'll have to define the name of the image like this. Okay, and I would like to have a collider also, and there's no need of defining the color. Okay, I'm getting rid of the color. Now, if I'll just save the changes and run the code, let's see what we will get. Are you able to see the trap over here? Sridesh, are you seeing the trap? Your voice is not audible to me, beta. I
Yes,
think.
sir.
Right. So trap is here. It is there on the first, it is there on the second level, but for the first level, we are not able to see any trap. Neither if I'll just come on the third level. Let me just come on the third level, and let's see whether I'll be able to see a trap kind of thing over there or not. Okay. It's a bit hard to play this game. See, there's no trap over here also. Right. Can you tell me how can we define traps for the first and the third level? We, I would like to have traps for the first as well as for the third level also. It's very simple. We can use this duplicate code, right dear? We can use the duplicate code, and we can simply tell the interpreter to create duplicates for this trap thing, trap. And here we have to change the values. So let's make it 6. And here I'm making it, here also I'm putting 6. Right, now if I will save the changes and run the code, let's see what we will get as the final output. So, that a trap is visible to us, right? Here also we are able to see a trap, but here the trap is not there, right? But for this third level, we can see a trap, but it is not covering the entire space. How can we get rid of this issue? Now that's the question. So for getting rid of the issue, what we can do, we can change, we can make some changes. So what are those changes? Here we can change all the minuses with plus. Sorry, Control Z. Let's make all these plus. I think that will give us, let me just check the whole code now. So this is fine. This is perfectly fine. M minus 1, M plus 1 is there. M minus 1, M plus 1. Here also we have M minus 1, M plus 1. Here also we have M minus 1, M plus 1. Let me just save the changes. And now if I will run the code, so, okay, I'm getting 3 traps right now, but they are not as per my expectation. Fine. So here I need to change its position. So I'm changing it to -6. Okay. And here, let's make it ceiling. Let's make it -2.5. And here also, if I'll make it -2.5, I'm just trying out. Okay. I'm just trying to fix the issue. Let's see whether we'll be able to, fix the issue. We'll be able to get the correct output or not with this. So I'm saving the changes, running the code. And this time also I am not getting the correct output. Okay, so I'm able to see a trap here in the first level, second level also there is a trap, third level. So I think it is almost perfect, right? It is almost perfect, yeah. So this is now completely fine. We can go with this kind of thing. I hope you're able to understand here this whole code. Leaders, your voice is not audible, dear. If you can please unmute yourself and tell me whether the code is clear to you. It's very simple. We are using right now what I am doing, I am using the basics of coding, which we learned on code.org. Right? I'm using the same concept. There is nothing different I'm using here. When you will try them out on your own, definitely you will be able to master these things. Okay, but you'll have to practice here. If you'll not practice, definitely you will not understand these things. I have shared the code with you. I would like you to just give it a try and check whether you're getting all the kind of assets we have defined till now for our game or not. Okay, so you're getting the output. That's amazing there. Now the next and last thing that we have to do is we need to define an enemy, right? We want an enemy to be there on the game so that we can make it more appealing. So, and I want, the enemy to move, it, I want it to move automatically itself. I do not want some other user to come and control the enemy's movement. I would like it to be there in the game, and I would like it to move itself automatically. Right now, how can we make it happen? So it's very simple, dear. What we can do, we can define a class, right, for the enemy first. So I'm putting it over here, and class, let's say it is enemy. And because we are using Ursina, so we need to make it a parameterized class. So entity is the thing we have to pass as a parameter. Then we can initialize it. So init, then here we need to pass some parameters. So X and Y are the parameters. I would like to pass to this init function self.model. So the first thing that we have to do is we have to set the model of the enemy. So I am passing cube for this. Then we need to set the image. So for image, we have to use texture. Let me check if I have any enemy's image. Okay, we have an image with name ghost. Okay, and it's a PNG image, so we'll have to put it inside the double inverted commas with name ghost.png, right? And then we can pass the color. So I would like to have a green color of enemy, so that is the reason I'm passing green. And then because I would like it to move automatically, I do not want anyone to control the movement of the enemy. So that is the reason self.x and self.y. And now how can we make the game to update the value of X and Y automatically itself? So for that, if you remember, in the previous game, I told you about update function. So, interpreter executes it automatically itself for every frame. Okay, so we can define a global variable here with name speed. And here we can simply, pass a speed parameter saying speed. Let's multiply it by time dot dt. So, Tridash, I'm using the same formula which I used in the previous game beta. It should be dt, not duplicate. Yeah, now it is perfectly fine. And now we can check if the absolute, if ABS, if the absolute value of dx is, let's make it greater than 2. If it is greater than 2, then something should happen to the speed. So what should happen to the speed is speed should, it should automatically become negative. Now, why I want the speed to become negative, that's what you will come to know when you will see the output. And I would like to make the dx is equal to 0, and then enemy dot x equals to, and we have to pass a value to it. So let's make it